Scary time. Happy Halloween. Make sure everything looks good before we get started here. Yes, I think we can see it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Halloween, my Halloween special about my favorite paranormal investigations around the world. Hi, I'm Kevin Paul. I'm an international psychic and medium. I'm an educator, a host of my YouTube shows and these Facebook Live shows. I'm a writer and speaker on all things paranormal. I help identify people's abilities and train beginners to become psychics and mediums as well. And when I'm not teaching or doing psychic or mediumship readings, I'm investigating the paranormal in the many different locations around the world. So welcome to my special Halloween show where I'm going to be recounting my favorite paranormal adventures at some of the most haunted locations around the world. But first, let me share something about my Halloween fun each year. Yes, she is just misunderstood, like many of us. But let me see here if I can show you some of my favorite. Let's see here. Ta-da! This is my favorite costume. A little green makeup, a broom, a prairie dress. Always a lot of fun. And this is typically what I like to do on a Halloween if I want to scare somebody out there at a parade. Let me show you another one. Here's another one right here. Thanks to my friend David, who is the designer of the broom. And for fun, this is me walking home one night. And I thought the reflection was really good. I think I needed that broom to walk home that night after hanging out in the bars there on Halloween a couple of years ago. So the broom does come in handy. If I can't fly, I'm just going to walk with it like a walking stick. So little fun facts about what I've done in the past for Halloween. And let me just get things organized here. You know, it's always like trying to get a spaceship launched to do some of these shows with all the technical stuff. So let me explain. People wonder about my paranormal investigation and my way of doing things. I don't have meters and I don't have digital voice recorders or anything like that. I just use my abilities and a notebook. I like to use a notebook with a pen so I can write things down. So how do I do investigations? Typically when I go in, I've opened up, make myself open. My intention is to do, an investigation, to read the energy, to see what's going on. And whether it's active energy or residual energy, and I'll talk about that during my stories. It's important to be able to identify the difference between the two and take good notes. And no, you don't have to do this at night. You can certainly do it during the day. I think the night is just kind of more fun for television and for those paranormal investigators doing their investigations at these special locations around. I think the best thing is to do it at night, make it more fun and more scary. As I'm going to turn off my phone here. Let's see here. We've got everything, and yes, I've got my special witch's brew tonight. So settle in it'll probably be less than an hour to get through these. So let me start with my favorite investigation. And I've written about many of these and put them on my website. So I'm going to recount them and kind of give you some insight as well that, I just didn't have in the story because, writing is not easy to make it sound good and to spell everything right. But it's more fun to recount them. So this story I wrote about called Trapped. So I have a friend who has a lovely lake house, and he's told me that it's haunted. He has got some abilities, so he has seen and sensed, and some of his friends have seen and sensed as well. So he wanted me to go out and take a look and see what I can come up with. So we drove down south of Washington, D.C. And it was at night, of course. I don't know why it was at night, but we got off work. They got off work, and so we drove down on a Friday night. There's going to be a big event that weekend. So I was like, let's get up there on Friday. That's not going to be anybody there except us. So we drove down and came into his. I've never been to his house before. Walked in, of course, my room is down this area. His room is down the other part of the house. And so I said, let's get to it. Let's see what's going on. Let me get my notebook, my pen, my abilities. And I said, I'm not going to be doing a cleansing here. I'm just going to observe. I'm just going to take notes, see what's going on, and see what we can come up with here. So started down in the basement, walked down into the basement, and the lights were low. It's really made for TV, the way the lights were in this place. The lights were low, and so I got a sense of the energy down there. He had told me that he had seen a mass on the wall, kind of like a shadow type of mass in one area. So I just sensed down there and picked up energy, which is very weak energy. It's a very weak energy, weak spirit energy down there, or just weak energy in general. And I got a sense that this was of the land. And I thought, oh, this person worked, around here. Land was important. So I said, okay, I'm picking up a weak spirit energy down here. I'm not really getting a strong hit on it. But I thought, oh, wow, this person worked with the land somehow. And maybe even owned some land around here. So I said, let's go up to the next level, because there's really not a whole lot I could gather from this one. But I did get a sense it was a man. And he's definitely from around that area. And I'm picking up probably from the 1800s, way back when. And so went up to the main level of the house and went into the kitchen and sat down. And then I got a sense of a very strong energy. And I picked up this very strong, it was a man. I picked up, this was an African-American man who was literally someone who had worked the soil, but as a slave rather than a farmer or an owner of the property. So I picked up this energy of a real hard worker and somebody who was angry, strong. And so I wanted to know, what are you doing here? What's going on now that I can actually connect with your energy? And I'm writing down, and my friend said, what's his name? What's his name? And I said, okay. And I, with my mind, asked, what's your name? And I got Jacob. So I wrote Jacob. He said, oh my God, that's exactly the name we got when we did a Ouija board session 10 years ago. I'm like, wow. Okay, we've got his name. Let's not get too excited about that. Let's see why he is here. So I kind of leaned into him, or asked him to lean into me. I said, come close, give me a sense of what's going on. And I got a sense of revenge. I thought, revenge? What's going on? And then I started getting a download that this person was angry, was in charge, and I felt that this one he was almost like patrolling the house. He was in charge, and he is in charge of keeping the energy downstairs. And there's another energy in another location, kind of entrapping them in that location. So, okay. And I just got a sense of, okay, that's what's going on here. Entrapping, whoops. And I got more information and said, okay, that is the landowner, the slave owner down in the basement. He's trapped him down there. And I got a sense that he trapped more of that family in a different location of the house. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. This particular guy was being the warden, entrapping these spirits there. And so I thought, okay, what's going on here? And I got a sense of the word revenge. This is his way of taking revenge on people who had taken advantage of him and his family. So I was writing all this down, and I said, I'm just observing. I'm not going to be cleansing anybody out, telling anybody they have to leave. I'm just kind of taking notes, observing. So I got a really angry man there, Jacob, the angry spirit. So I said, okay, thank you very much. I'm going to move around, and so we're going to go upstairs. And went up into this other area, which they said that there were lights, some really weird light anomalies going on up there. Colored lights or lights going out or weird colors popping up behind things. It's just things about light. So I just kind of get a sense of who's up here, what's up here. And I got a sense of kind of a young energy, multiple, and very playful, scared, hiding, not willing to come out and speak, communicate. I don't really get a sense. I couldn't get a sense of who they were individually, but I get a sense of they're part of the family of the landowner in the basement. So it seems like Jacob had separated these energies, kept some up there, or they were afraid and they were staying up there and hiding. I get a sense of really being trapped in that location and not being able to, because if you were to go out, Jacob is going to be there zipping around and making sure that you didn't go anywhere but where you needed to be. So I thought that's interesting. So I went back to my room, and it was, of course, it was late at night, and wrote down, okay, well, this is what I need to do. When I come back here to do a cleansing, and I'm not going to do the cleansing right now because we're not going to do the sage, the smudging there with sage, or any magical powers. I said, let's see how I'm going to do this now. What am I going to do? I said, I'm going to, first of all, I always like to do the soft cleansing, kind of reason with them and find out, okay, what's going on? How can I help you? And with him, I thought, Jacob, it's important. You don't have to forget, but it is important to forgive. To forgive, especially when you've moved on. And I said, wouldn't you rather, and I was thinking to myself, this is what I'll say to him, wouldn't you rather be with your friends and your loved ones rather than trying to keep these energies down here entrapped? These people that have done you wrong, keep them entrapped, forever, it seemed like. So wouldn't you rather be with your friends and your family? I said, that's going to be my approach. And so remember, you don't have to forget what happened, but you can forgive, move on. And I thought, well, when he goes, I bet you the others are going to get the heck out. There's not going to be any other energy or powerful energy keeping them there. So I said, I bet you that's what's going to happen. And I told my friend that if I can get him out, then everybody else is just going to leave. So I was like, okay. And I went to sleep, and I had some really weird dream that I was being communicated. I felt like the youthful young energy from up on the second floor had come down and snuck in, and it was trying to communicate with me through my dream, because many times in dreams we can gather information and hear from spirits, from loved ones, from whomever, because that's the easiest way. You're out, the active mind is sleeping, and they can actually get in and communicate. So I got a sense that they were trying to communicate, they were interested. And I couldn't pick up because I was, my dreaming is going on, and I just got a sense of some weird noises and sounds, and I just thought, oh, okay, they're just kind of checking me out. So the next morning, woke up, had a wonderful time that weekend, and a few months later, my friend had told me that, since you've been there, I haven't seen or heard or felt anything. So I thought, he said, none of my other friends as well. So I thought, wow, that was an unintentional cleansing. You don't need ritual. All you need is the intention, some reasoning. And by me talking and reasoning with, I'll just write down the notes. This is the way I'm going to do it. Actually, that spirit, Jacob, was listening and took it to heart and said, okay, I'd rather be with my loved ones, and left. And all the other energies left. So that house has been clear, quiet, and cleansed. Amazing. I was amazed as well. I thought, I'm going to have to get some, magical ritual going on here. No, it was as simple as just a little communication, soft cleansing, as I call it. So it's called Trapped. and no longer trapped. The next story I'd like to recount is when I was in Vietnam. When was that? Right before COVID started. So that was November, actually Halloween 2019. Went there with friends to, see what's going on in the world in Southeast Asia. And I said, oh, we're going to go to this one location. Certain locations, I'm going to open up and I'm going to kind of gather information like I did at this other house. So the first place we'd after flying, it seemed like forever, called the Hanoi Hilton, where Senator McCain was, and many other POWs from the Vietnam War, American POWs from the Vietnam War were held. So we walked in, and in this place, and I'm going to show you, share a little video I made. So let me just pull that up. And after I walked through it, I literally felt, like I was on a ship, super, super dizzy. I was literally holding on to things like, no, it wasn't jet lag. I was like, wow, I would walk out, be gone. But when I went in, it was residual energy, because guess what? What spirit wants to hang out in like a prison, that was miserable for them? So this is an example of how you can read energy. It's haunted with residual energy rather than active spirits. And there was no active spirit there wanting to chit chat with me. But the energy of all those people that were there through the many, many years and decades, that place has been there for probably over 100 years, was just stuck into the fibers of the walls, the ceiling, the floors. In that space, that energy is stuck there, and I was reading that energy. So I'm going to share with you, see if I can do this here. Where is it? And let's see here. I'm going to go to, let's see. One moment, please. Technical difficulties, just for 1 minute here. So I'm going to share, and just a quick 1 minute video I made, which is on YouTube. And I'm going to put that on there. Let's see if this gets to it here. Ah, yes. Okay, I'm going to just give you my impressions. I've been touring this location and super dizzy, head hurts, chest hurts. I'm just picking up on the residual energy in this location, which is just very painful, very sad, desperate. So I'm just giving you a pan around here. We're at, they would say, maybe the Hanoi Hilton here in Vietnam. This is where prisoners have been kept for over 100 years, from the French to the Japanese and then the Vietnamese. Very odd and sad energy, which just makes me super dizzy. So I'm just picking up on the residual energy here in this space. So that was, I had to step out to recount that one. I was like, how am I going to do this one? So that was real raw, stepping out, giving you a sense of how it felt, the sadness, the despair, the feeling of being frightened. I felt all of that as I went from room to room, and I would feel different levels of it. But that was absolutely amazing energy there. Stuck into the fibers. So that's reading residual energy in this space or in any other spaces. So for me, dizziness is definitely an indicator of residual. It was not pleasant. It's very sad, very, very sad. But it was a wonderful experience, especially when you're doing investigations, is to get yourself in there and observe. Don't feel like you need to do anything except observe. Be a good observer. And when you do that,